G'day everyone, welcome along, welcome to Steelhorse Station. Sorry about that. We just had a little bit of a last minute glitch, which I hope I have sorted out now. I think I have sound and camera. Let's see if we can go to the game. And that looks pretty reasonable on my end. Hopefully it is all there for you guys. Welcome along, John and Jason, if you're still there, John. I'm guessing, without having any real information, Jason, that maybe one of the pieces of equipment that he purchased as part of his upgrade has sound off, heads a bit off screen. Game view is good. How can the sound be off? It was on. What the hell is going on here? Okay, I don't feel so bad because sound was not what I was having a problem with. I looked up at the screen it was part of my usual checklist, and there was no picture of me. And I looked across to the camera, and the camera wasn't on. It's like, what the hell's happened there? In a year, I haven't had a single problem. I haven't changed anything to do with the camera. How is that had a conniption all of a sudden? But anyway, I've unplugged it out of its USB port and put it in another one, and it appears to be functioning again. So now what we were doing here, oops, I don't want to go to the first waypoint. Stop, nearest waypoint is fine. There we go. So John, what is happening for you? Have you got, you're having a break from PC? Did you blow up a piece of equipment, or it just had a string of failures now that you've started to replace bits, or all of the above? Either way, it'll be maximum frustration, minimal success, I'm guessing. Right, so we've just got a little contract that I wanted to finish off. I went out and downloaded crop rotation, so we will have a look at that on here in a second. And we're going to roll forward the day. You're on your way to the pallet warehouse, and you're just finishing that field off. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, we jump in here. There we go. So I was reading the fine print on the crop rotation mod, and I discovered that they'd actually put a heap of really interesting info. So they'd actually gone to the trouble with their mod of writing proper help texts, which I didn't realize when we looked at it the other day, or last week actually. And so I just thought I would highlight that to you, because I think that's a commendable practice to actually, quite astonishing really. Fancy trying to help the people that would use your mod. So it explains what we managed to figure out. Exactly, I only saw it in the mod page as well, and then I was just reading the text of the stuff on the mod hub, and it said that they'd gone to the trouble of writing stuff down. I thought, oh, that wasn't on the page that we saw, and then suddenly realized that it was in here. So it explains what crop rotation is about. And it talks about actually the settings which weren't immediately obvious to us, but that canola, sunflower, potato, and sugar beet actually require a 3-season gap. Our cereals require a 1-year gap. So I thought that was a piece of information that we hadn't got for ourselves. We discovered that some things go better with as predecessors to something else. So we knew what fallow was about. And oh, yes, I am familiar with that problem, John. That leads to all sorts of issues. Although I did discover there's a couple of companies that make some neat motherboard jumpers to move components a little bit away from the motherboard, just enough to try and reduce that sort of stress. So in particular, there's like a 90-degree PCIe extender, or there's a straight out extender. They can be quite useful in certain circumstances. But yes, I hadn't seen these settings where it tells you actually on the field itself what constituted bad versus the previous, because we hadn't got that far through the process. So I just thought I'd bring that to people's attention. We did see this screen, which is how it works with precision farming. So that's just in the help text for any that are interested. Right, this weeding contract is just about up to doing the headlands. So let's go back to the fertilizing. So he must also be, he is on the headlands, and he should have enough to go all the way around. So what we'll do is we'll just wait till this guy finishes, and then we're going to roll over into the second half of April. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, Jason. It does have smacks of reading the manual. I have been known to read manuals on occasions. I find they aid my problem solving no end, and that I invariably find solutions to problems that I didn't know I had, which is always entertaining. Right, so we're at 90% on the weeding contract. We're at 70% here, and he's got basically a lap to do. So let's jump out of there. I don't think there's anything of interest at the minute in the shop. No, all that stuff was there last time. Where else are we? I did sell. So the while I was just working forward, I did notice that the sugar price briefly jumped up over $900 1,000 litres. So I sold the lot that we'd brought round here. So that worked out all right. And we've got 350,000 litres of sugar. Oh. That's better. Come on, pick you up. 350,000 litres sitting in the warehouse, so there's plenty of sugar to go around. Which way on do we want you? doesn't really matter. Whatever I do, it'll be wrong. Have you attempted to look online for it, John? You can often find translations. Some nice folks have often thought to upload variants. And sometimes even the motherboard manufacturers, whatever that, regardless of what they shipped you, usually have an English variant at least on their website, even if you might have to go digging for it. Straighten up. There we go. Oh, come on. Down you go. That's better. And out of there. Good-o. Park that back over there. It's in pigeon. Oh, very good. That's always helpful. Right, you can run back round to the sugar pellet load. We can, meanwhile, I did discover that I could put a gate in there, but I haven't done the editing to do that. And Jason, did my response to your clever idea make some sense? We can go and give it a whirl towards the end of the stream if you would like. Now, where are we up to? There we go. Pictures are often more useful than the text anyway. Okay, so we got one lap to do. This shouldn't take long. Should have enough fertilizer in it. What manufacturer is it, John? Yeah, it's one of those MSI. MSI should have a good how old is it? That's pretty well known. I'd expect there to be a readable English version of it. That doesn't mean your importer has necessarily brought it in. What's the motherboard designation? Model type. I'll just have a... Ah. Have you got a... Just give me the model of the motherboard and let me see if I can find you a link to an English user guide. Because there's never enough information in the quick installation guides. There's invariably jumpers and other nonsense that you want to be aware of what they do. No worries, Jason. Right. We're almost done with this bit. %5 to go. What was the going price for sugar now? I know it dropped again. Probably as a result of making some sales. Sugar, 355,000 litres. Yeah, and we're back down at 868. So we'll wait for that to come back. Hope maybe by the end of the month. There we go, 96%. Laughing. Powering through it will be done in just a tick. I'm pretty sure we won't get any more contracts for today. Well, at least for until we roll the day over. Right, we have a contract done, so we can stop you doing that. I'll let you go to the end. That way the whole field's done. Okie dokie, so where is my usual? That's the one I want. Almost at the end. I enjoyed the weekend at Spa. Lots of interesting qualifying and racing. $790p Pro. Let's have a look here. I said That's not it. It looks like I won't say anything then, John. But it looks like there's a 67-page user manual on manualslib.com. So I'd certainly have a look at that and see if it, because once you get a couple of pages into it, you'll tell whether it's the right thing or not. Okay, let's send you back. And it's not spoiling the stream. That's what community and streaming's all about. The ability to choose what we do according to what people want to see. So helping you find a manual sounds entirely appropriate. So we'll collect that contract. And we were waiting for him to finish anyway. We're going to send you back to the equipment park. Let me see if I can get a link. Copy. I don't know if it is actually the correct one, but that was the first one that popped up when I did a search on it. Sorry, the first one that looked sensible when I did a search on what you gave me. So I would, you'll tell if you get a few 3 or 4 pages in and a few diagrams and it looks like your machine, and the fact that it's written in English means you can check it'll give you references to revision numbers and the like, which you can validate whether or not it is actually talking about your motherboard or not. And being 67 pages, it's bound to have a lot more information in it than your little quick installation guide. Right, so you're going back. You're here, so which side are we auto-loading? We're auto-loading off that side. What we want to do, take you off there. Let's do it this way. Oh, what's happening here? Okay. Have I lost? Okay, I give up. Why have I lost control of Farm Sim? Something's not working properly. No, everything's working properly except Farm Sim. How bizarre is that? I cannot. Okay. That's not the result we wanted. Can't even kill that window. Well, we've done a very good job of hanging Farm Sim here, folks. Haven't had that problem for a long time. Kill you. Just bear with me a moment while I try and figure out how to get control back. I have no keyboard control for that window at all. Here we go. No. I'm going to do that. It is hung in a very unpleasant way at the moment, because it won't let me do anything. Right, so that's no good, that's no good. Absent features, let's try Task Manager. Can't even get into Task Manager. Good stuff, John. Well, I'm glad we've solved one problem. Can't for the life of me figure out how to kill this session of Farm Sim, though. I'm almost at big red switch time. But if I do that, we lose the stream, which is a bit annoying. Come out. It's quite bizarre because OBS is very happy with life. It's still taking the audio from the game. I just can't. Oh, almost got it. That's better. Which one's which? I want you. This is very odd. I have actually managed to get some other windows opened. I just can't get them on. So Giants. Okay, so Farm Sim's having a heart attack trying to write something, I think, or save something. And it won't let me back in. What I might try is kill that. I can't kill OBS because I'll lose the stream. Just trying to see if I can give it some resources. Where are we here? It won't let me do anything to the Giants engine window, and because it's monopolizing my primary monitor, I can't get it. I can't get Task Manager to display to allow me to kill the thread. This is very odd. I have not had this problem before. Apologies, folks. This is just taxing my ability. How do I tell a window that I've got open but is displaying at the back that I want to bring it to the foreground? Which is really strange. Well, that's what. So that's how I started it, and it's run. So Task Manager's running, but I can't actually bring it to the foreground. Hang on, let's. Let's kill you. Yep, I can alt-tab between the windows, and if I select the one I want, it just takes me back. It's like the place that Farm Sim's decided to hang. It's got control of the key part of the video output thread, and I can't actually stop it. can't actually kill. So I can bring the command line, not the command line, the shutdown menu up, but I can't. Ideally, what I need to be able to do is just drag Task Manager onto my second window. This is really quite odd. YouTube set. Let's try settings. Maybe if I reconfigure my screens. No, because I can't bring anything up. Show windows. Let's try show windows side by side. This is show task view button. Yes, that's what I want. Show people, cascade window, show window stacked. Alt-tab will happily change between windows until I release it, in which case it just goes back to giving me Farm Sim. This is quite confusing. As I say, by now I would have completely lost patience and rebooted if we weren't streaming. Let's kill you. Sim won't even die if I kill Steam. That was probably a mistake. Oh, that worked. Did that work without killing the stream? That's the interesting question. I can't tell. But we finally got partially there. Maybe not. Recording is inactive, yeah. If anyone can hear me, can you just type something into chat? Let's go to there, there, there. 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 Okay. And I didn't want to go there. So you are live. Okay, I can see that, John. Let me just try and sort that out. Videos live control room. Let's try that again. Can't see anything. Right. Let me see if I can sort that out at least a little bit. Everything appears to have died rather dramatically. So let's go to there. Let's see if I can bring up you.
A wise man once said,
How's that doing? Is that any improvement? They're universal, John. Have you guys got a picture of the welcome screen for Farm Sim by any chance? OBS is telling me I have an excellent connection. Right, okay, that's progress. So let me start the game. And while that's loading up, let me see if I can get my camera working again. If this within set transition game capture, you scene 2. What is happening here? Is that up to 100% yet? No. Almost there. Let's see. Oh, that should be getting better. Right. We're back in game. I'm pictured on the screen. How's that look for everybody? Tools, WebSocket, file, edit, view. Right. Sorry about that. That was very annoying. Now, let me just see if I can get a chat window. Oh, how about that? I've even managed to get chat back. Goodness me. Right. So, let's just pretend none of that happened. I have absolutely no idea what went on there. Where are we up to? Okay, we've gone back in time because we haven't finished that contract anymore. So let's... Looks like it had a problem saving. I wonder if I've got some issue in the background here. Let me just check that I haven't had something stupid happen like... No, there's 200 gig of storage on that drive. Oops. There's 70 gig of storage on that drive. And there's 700 gig of storage on that drive. So it wasn't something as silly as running out of disk space. So that's a good start. Well, we'll just pretend it didn't happen. Let's try saving at that point when the contract's finished. Yep, that worked much better. Well, thank you for persisting there, folks. That was much appreciated while we got all of that sorted out. And now we'll look like we should be able to go and do what we were intending to do, which was to shut down this contract now that it's complete. I don't feel compelled to do it again. So let's just stop you there, fold you up. I know what I haven't done, and I wonder if it was because of the point at which it took us out. We probably don't have G'day, Rusty. How are you, sir? You picked a good time to join. We've just had a few technical difficulties, which hopefully we've gotten to the bottom of or bypassed. Right, so you need to go across to there and continue doing that contract. And I'll come back to there and send you home. Possibly. Wasn't supposed to be a hard question. Let's try going to drive. And I'll go up to the road. System's just trying to tell me that I need a holiday. That's all it's in the messaging. Now, oops, let's try, yep, send you there. Good. So now we can go up to the house. Roll the day forward. Let's save first, just because. And we will roll you forward to 7 o'clock the next day. Let's see what sort of a toll this makes in our finances and whether we get any new contracts. Leroy Wilson is the top bidder on a field that we don't want. We're down at 329. Have we got any contracts? No, we didn't get any new ones. Let's go. So the main reason I wanted to just jump over was to see if our grass had grown on field 69. And it hasn't quite. Okay, but that's interesting. So our last two harvests are recorded there. That's interesting. So it's showing the previous harvest as being grass, which is what it was. But it's actually recorded it as 2 grass, even though the one before that was sugar beet. So for those that haven't been with us before, we've put the crop rotation mod in. And so we're just sort of trying to get ourselves established. Let's run up here. This is canola. Well, that's a bit bizarre. This field's never had potatoes or sorghum in it. It's had grass, corn, and canola. So, no idea how it's figured that out. Oh, and oats, I think. So, anyway. It's looking fine. Yep, must be. So what are we on? April. So that grass isn't ready to mow. What about this one over here? That's not ready either. So it looks like we want to roll forward another day. If I do, what does that do to the options we have? I can still put sugar beet in May, so that's all right. Let's just do that then. I don't think there's any reason to hang back here. Let's just go to the 1st of May. Skipping through the year we are. Positively flying. They say as you get faster, everything goes quicker. So as you get older. I heard a great phrase that I'd never heard before. I believe it to be Texan in origin. And it was big hat, no cattle. I thought it was a beauty. That's the sort of thing an Aussie would refer to. Okay, so flowers are out in the canola field, which is fine. Let's go over here. Okay, we've got grass to mow there, which means we should have grass to mow over here. This little field, it just takes but a moment. We'll go around backwards. just need to keep an eye on that monitor for the weeding contract, because if he, oh no, he's still weeding successfully. That's all I wanted to know, so he'll finish that shortly. Bigger the hat, the smaller the holding. Yeah, I'd heard that before. And g'day Jason, other Jason, Prime Jason. I'll just stop digging now. As I was saying, attempting to say before it all went to custard with the technology, I did enjoy the F1 weekend. I won't talk results because I know John hasn't seen it yet. Spa is one of the tracks that I really like to watch, and it didn't disappoint. Rightio. Grass here is cut, so we can send you... Whoops, missed that bit. Oh, something that I meant to mention. Let's, I'll just get this on its way back to field 64, I think. 64 north will do fine. Goodo. So you might, some of you might recall last time one of these came up in the store. No, one of these came up in the store. And what I didn't notice was that it was the AM19 3 floors, and it was only 35,000 or something. So it came up in the sale. And so I bought it thinking that it'd be ideal for knocking around for our moving cattle around as our cows started to increase in numbers, only to get it back and discover that this 3-floor version, which if I'd even twigged it was the 3-floor version, I might have realised, can't hold cows. So it only holds sheep and pigs. You actually need the 2-floor version to shift cows, which of course we didn't have. So I promptly sold that. But just in case you're ever using it, it's a good trailer if you get the right one. So you're heading to the field, which is good. Let's see how you're back home. We'll put you away later. Now, this is where I got into trouble before. So what we wanted to do, we'll check the sugar prices in a minute. Let's back you down in there. We have rather a lot of sugar, 350,000 plus litres of it. So we are getting ready for selling when we get a chance. Let's just leave you there like so. Take the straps off. No, that's not going to work the way I intended, is it? Why can't I get out of... Oh, because I'm inside the container. Good job. It's just one of those things someone needs to write a mod for. Exactly. Now, hopefully, if we pick these up, they will load, albeit slowly. Okay. Done worse. Come on. Okay, at mowers at the field. Okay, that's a good height. So if I back the truck in further, we should be able to pick them up. That's good to know. Just out of curiosity, sugar is, we're now up at 400,000 and we're up over $900. That's what we wanted to see. There we go. That was what we wanted. I don't quite load off the floor. You gonna pick any more up there? No, you're too far away. Ah, I'm back in the damn container again. I wish it would be smart enough not to put you through a building collision out the wrong side of the truck. I don't think it's too much to ask. They need a few more here. They're loading on their own. Well, they sort of were. Almost loaded it up. There we go. I'm not sure if we'll see Farm Sim Brisco. Oh god, I've done it again. Farm Sim Brisco, or whether he's... I sent it to the wrong field, didn't I? 64 I sent it to. The trailer is full. What I wanted to do was find, there it is, my mower that I sent to the wrong field. Because he should have gone to 69. I don't know how many people are aware that there's been a bit of drama involving Lancey Boy. I don't have any facts. Just got some familiarity with the speculation that's been bouncing around in a small amount of social media, given that I don't use Facebook. But the consequence of it appears to be that he has requested, and Giants have complied with them removing all his content off Mod Hub. Now the consequence of that for people is that any maps that had his sheds, which were quite which are quite good, and we use a bunch of them on here as required downloads, obviously now can't. So until individual map makers replace them, I think that's going to create a few issues for folks. So just be aware of that. Firstly, if you're changing maps, but secondly, if you've got Lancey Boy's sheds in your mod folders, hang on to them, because you won't be able to get replacements from reputable sources anytime soon. Not to the best of my knowledge. I can't see how it would. Well, I mean, once you've got the download, it's fine, and I suspect some of his mods will appear in other locations, but I'm just thinking, is it Saxthorpe and not Court Farms, but Saxthorpe in particular. Court Farms may as well use a couple of Lancey Boys sheds, and assuming the map will run without them, you'll just have a vacant space where the shed should be, which could be annoying. He released a map which I'm not familiar with, and from what I can tell, it was an American map, or named by him to be an American map, and a whole bunch, well, some folks in the Farm Sim community would appear to, particularly US based, would appear to have given him a whole bunch of feedback about what they thought about the maps, and like some maps it had a couple of issues. Anyway, the upshot of all of that was that he wasn't happy. Yeah, well, I'm trying to be really careful with my words, Rusty, because I don't want to inflame an already ugly situation. And quite frankly, I don't know what was said or alleged to have said, because I don't participate in some of the forums like Facebook or Twitter for that matter, for exactly those reasons. There are just too many trolls for my taste. But I did want people to be aware, because if you've got gaps appearing in your maps for reasons that are a complete shock to you, it'd be a bit of a surprise. So, and if you've already got some of his great sheds, then it's a good idea just to put them aside and hang on to them, because he's made it pretty clear he's done. Yeah, and that's why it's one of those things that I wonder if there's more to it that we don't know. You know, I've certainly, just watching things like the Giants forum, the number of people that weigh in with a complete absence of fact, you know, and they project their own story on top of some, you know, selective cut and pasting from various sources. It's just not helpful. So yeah, I really don't know what the background is. I've certainly never exchanged any communication. Oh, I have. Sorry, I tell a lie. He did pop into one of our streams one day and say hi. But there was nothing of substance other than my complete surprise that somebody who was, you know, I considered to be significant in the community would actually just pop into one of my streams and say hi. So that's the only contact I've ever had. I was actually commenting to my wife earlier that I don't know what it is about the world at the moment, but it's sort of on another tangent. You know, the commercial television networks here in this country, so this country being Australia, seem to have decided that what we really need to see is lots of television where the primary theme that's celebrated is lying and cheating and deception. And I just don't get it. I'm just like, you know, how did that become a substitute for good old-fashioned fun and competition? Yeah, so thanks for adding that, Rusty, because I don't have the context at all, but to me it's those aspects. That's what I like about the community. So they're the bits I choose to encourage when I get the opportunity. Meanwhile, we will cut some grass. We're going to pick this up and put it in the bunker and make a bunker load of silage is the plan. It looks like our weeding contract has completed as well, so that's good. Once we're done with this, we'll throw a little bit of lime on, check and see if we got any more contracts, and whether it needs to be ploughed or whether we can get away with just cultivating. Can never remember, and I suppose I've got a sneaking suspicion you do need to plough after your sugar beet crop, don't you? Getting a bit dry. Forgot to bring a drink. It's all gone to pot. I did wonder from the nature of one of the posts that Lancey Boy made in the actual Giants forum, just reading between the lines, whether he was a little more dependent on any, whilst it's a hobby for everybody that, you know, we do a lot of this stuff, whether he was a little more dependent on whatever income he was able to generate from modding than people might realize, and as a result therefore potentially a little more impacted by negative criticism than some. So the stuff should all be on your old hard drives, and as long as you don't reformat them, you should be able to access it. What I would recommend you do is complete your installation without attaching them. And then when you do reattach them, it can just be a little bit tricky. It's not something I can explain simply, because you're assuming there was multiple drives. One of them will have been your original Windows drive, and that will have some hidden partitions on the drive. And the tricky thing that can occur when you reboot with those attached is Windows can get confused as to which drive you want it to start from. As long as you can navigate your way through that, once you're up and running on your correct installation, you should then be able to map the old drive to another letter, whatever you choose, and all the data on it then should be intact. But if you're doing a clean Windows install as part of your new PC build, there's absolutely no reason at all that you should need to reformat those old drives until you've been able to get all your data off. For instance, you know, this, well, it now says grandma backup. That's my mother's backup of her machine. But it's now full of stuff. Yeah, so that's right. So an old C drive is fine. What I do, I use, let me see if I can pick it up without breaking anything. So I use one of these devices. Where are we here? Okay, which is just a, it's just an enclosure, very simple, and you just plug your hard drive into it, and it has a USB cable out the front of it, so you can in effect turn a drive into an external drive, and you can plug it into the USB and access it that way. And it's not particularly fast, but for doing what you're trying to do, get data off it, or in my case occasionally use it as a backup, it works a treat. And because it's not permanently plugged in, the PC doesn't try and boot off it. Okay. That's difficult. I'm a big fan of those little enclosures for making use of old IDE drives which you have hanging around. They work really well. Kind of like an oversized USB stick, really. Let's choose that. Let's fold you up. Righty. Oh, did I miss a bit over there? Goodness me. Got distracted somewhere along the line. Let's try that again. How did I miss that bit? Let's see what the lime levels are like. Yeah, I think the mower driver was texting or something. Okay, that's a little bit better. Take two. Let's see if we can fold up now. I think every farm should have a crone. These are wonderful pieces of kit. Canola's looking good. I probably should mow that one, so let's not put the mower away for now. Let's see, what do we got over here? Actually, let's have a look and see what the lime situation is. Oh, itchy eyebrow. Crop types. There we go. So lime doesn't look too bad. Yeah, they are enormous. I agree. We could do with it. I reckon we could do without liming it. That's fine. No need to top that up. Let's see what the contract situation was. More weeding. We'll collect that. Small weeds. It says small weeds. I don't know if I believe them. I've been caught out before. Let's send you up to field 36. Actually, let's send you to get some maintenance first. Cow farm maintenance bay. Now let's go and pick up some grass. I find the only versions of most of this equipment I've seen that I'm aware of in real life is enormous. Now let's go pick up some grass. Excellent. Now the other thing we were going to check was, do we have to plough this field? Crop types. Needs ploughing. No, looks all right. The place you're working now, Rusty, is that part of a dealership operation, or is it a more a straight small parts distributor? I.e., do you get the big gear through a workshop that's sort of attached to where you're operating? It was funny. I had no idea even what a mother bin was until sort of the first quarter of last year, and it was literally 1 week I learnt about it in game because one of them, they were released on the mod hub for 22 for the first time, and then the following week I'm driving through rural New South Wales and there's one sitting right in front of me. It's like, holy crap, that's enormous. Oh, cool. So you get big gear through as well. Must be interesting. And a big change from your last career, I've no doubt. I think we're going to get quite a bit of grass off here by the looks. Haven't even made a lap around and we've got 2/3 of a trailer. So the question everyone wants to know the answer to, Rusty, is Laura and Grant from Laura Farms customers of yours? I'm pretty sure they're Nebraska. No worries, John. Good luck with it all. Hope you get it all sorted. I understand how frustrating it is. Just take it slow and steady. Yes, we will be back in about a little over 9.5 hours time on Newlands for our regular weekly check-in there. We've got a couple of crops to get in. Canola, I can't remember if I got the canola in or not on there. And then of course we've got sugar beet coming up on there to get in, as well as not far away from our first run of olive. Why do they look like different colour? So Sioux City as a name rings a bell, but I've not spent any time in that part of the States. I've sort of been around it, sort of Minneapolis on one side, St. Louis on another, and that's about as close as I've gotten, really. There we go, that's what we want to do. I'm sure it's one of those things, if she was a regular customer of yours, someone in your operation would be taking advantage of the marketing opportunity. Right. Yeah, not completely across the geography, like the city geography in that part of the world. I knew the guys that I interacted with in Minneapolis worked out across into Iowa. And a good mate of mine's family runs a ranch on the Snake River, a couple of hours out of Boise, Idaho, so it's not a million miles from the area you're talking about. Ah, you're a bobcat man. Well, we know where to come if we need one, Rusty. Okay. Bit slower pulling it up the hill. We should jump over that. Tractor should have arrived back at the garage for the maintenance. We'll do that when we get to the top of the hill. Let's go. That's the one we wanted, and he did make it all on his own. How about that? Door. 240 for there, 2,800 for there. Now you can go to field 36. 36 north will do. Got plenty of fuel. Might as well put that sprayer away while we're here. Looks like it could be the end of the spraying season. Save that. Nope, too many camera clashes. Do you? Zip back and put him back in a little shed. Probably got a heap of milk to sell there too, so we rolled forward a couple of days. I will duck down and check that while we're here. We did indeed have a heap of milk to sell. Okay, where do we want to be selling the milk? Hopefully it's at the farmer's market. We're not going to use the Putney Farm stall for bulk sales. Farmer's market it is. Sell points, farmer's market, go. Yeah, I thought that'd be the case. We got heaps of eggs again. Nice problem to have. Sugar hasn't gone up anymore. So, which field? 36 is that one. Let's just wander in. Those look like big weeds. Oh no, small weeds. Okay, that'll do. Gateway to the Sandhills. Ah, okay. Not a description I'm familiar with. I'm sure it's lovely. That looks all right. We'll do one of those. Start that. Ah, that makes sense then. And in the Sandhills like a source of off-road dune buggy, that sort of stand hills, or are they a bit different? Just duck through here, go and get a little bit I missed. We can come back up the hill again, I think. I understand. Gotcha. That makes sense. I'm thinking this might, I know I'm a couple of minutes early, but I think this might be my last load for tonight. So I will be back on Newlands in a tick over 9.5 hours time. For anyone that's around and able to pop in, it'd be much appreciated. If not, you can always catch it on replay. But for those that have hung around or said hi tonight, thank you very much for stopping by. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. And until next time, stay safe. Keep smiling, folks. See ya.